and it wasn't as if he'd been at any risk of dying. The arrogant fuck had blown her a kiss while his shirt was wet with darkest crimson. The blood lost nothing to a vampire that strong. Not that his lack of injuries and twisted delight in the violent interaction had stopped him from stalking Elena, hence her need to disappear into the cellars. In that underground world, Vivek had been king, and he'd relished his power. Piss him off and you'd say goodbye to air conditioning, your room a sauna, and forget about fresh coffee. These days, however, the cellars were someone else's domain, and, like her, Vivek was growing into a strange new skin. In the 5 years since he'd been made a vampire, the former tetraplegic guild hunter had regained the use of his arms and most of his upper body. Even though his lower body remained numb to sensation and offered no way for him to get out of the wheelchair he'd been in since childhood, Vivek wasn't complaining. The healers had predicted it would take decades for him to regain even basic movement. "Enlighten us," Sarah said in response to Vivek's declaration, her tone distinctly amused. Whispers coming through the line told Elena her best friend was clearing paperwork while she spoke to them. The guild director's job was never finished. "The transition to vampirism," Vivek said in an ostentatiously pompous tone, "causes a reaction in a small percentage of vampires that turns on the idiot gene." He held up a finger in a pay-attention stance. "Said gene is located on chromosome pair 24, colloquially known as the vampire chromosome." Elena nodded with equal solemnity. "An intriguing hypothesis, Professor Kapoor. Perhaps you should apply for a VPA research grant." As Vivek cracked up at her reference to the Vampire Protection Authority, which seemed to exist to slap guild hunters with excessive force violations, usually while the hunters were still bleeding from vampire bites and clawings, Sarah said, "If you two comedians are finished, I need you to haul ass, Ellie. Angel involved is very senior and very angry. Name's Imani." Elena could have resigned from the guild years ago. Being consort to the Archangel of New York tended to tie up a woman's time. But she'd clung to the guild with her fingernails, being a hunter as much a part of her psyche as breathing. Even more so because she was hunter-born, a bloodhound with the capacity to track vampires by scent. Rusted oak, champagne, sugar mixed with camphor, a cascade of flowers. Just 4 scents among the millions in the world. Her brain had the capacity to narrow down a particular scent to a particular vampire. Vivek, for example, was cold and fresh river water, and a vivid burst of aquamarine shards. She knew the latter wasn't a scent, but it was the only way she'd found to describe what she picked up around her friend. As for the angel tracking ability she'd begun to develop after waking as an angel, that remained erratic at best and non-existent at worst. "I know Imani," she said to Sarah. "I was hoping you'd say that. She's touchy." That was one word for the angel in question. "I'll calm her down. I've sent the details to your phone. You want a necklet?" "No, I'll be fine." No point detouring to Guild HQ for the vampire immobilization device when she already had the advantage of wings, as well as a droplet of immortal strength. Not much. Laughable when compared to wider angel kind, but she was now much harder to hurt than any other hunter in the guild. "If I can't haul back a runner on my own, I need to be put in guild remedial school." As Vivek grinned, Sarah said, "Come by tonight for a coffee. I want to talk to you about something." "I'll be there." Hanging up, Elena pointed a finger at Vivek. "I do not withdraw my challenge about your most recently created word." "Your funeral." Vivek had on his Scrabble poker face. "I'll save the game to continue the next time you're in." A beep sounded behind him in the surveillance control center. Turning his wheelchair around using his hands, he went to check on the alert. After much anguish, he'd retired his previous high-tech and networked electronic chair. The manual chair gave him a way to exercise his upper body without having to spend even longer with the physiotherapist. He'd bulked up considerably in the past couple of years, his shoulders strong and his arm muscles defined. "Ellie, hey, wait." He flicked up an image onto one of his many screens.